Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about 8th standard social science civics unit 1 defense and foreign policy. Defense and foreign policy. This is a heading of this lesson. Okay, first learning objectives. First point, the Indian Armed Forces. Second point, paramilitary defense forces. Third point, foreign policy of India. Fourth one, India's relation with neighboring countries. So these are the headings we will discuss in deeply in this lesson. Okay, first introduction. India is a peace-loving country. We know very well about this. India is a peace-loving country. India has always maintained cordial relationship, that means close, very close relationship or friendship with all other countries in general and with its neighbors in particularly. At the same time, it has to strengthen its security to defend its border from any foreign aggression. We have to strengthen the security to defend its border from any foreign aggression. So, the government of India has given higher priority to the defense sector. So, the government of India very much concentrate on the defense forces to strengthen. Let us understand the various defense forces of our country. Okay. So first one, need for defense system. Why it is need for defense system. National security is very essential for the political, social and economic development of any country. So that is a very important one. Why the defense system is a need? That means national security is very essential for the political, social and economic development of any country. It is also important for the growth of country's peace and prosperity. That is also very important one. That means country's peace and prosperity is very important one. That is why the defense system is very important or very need. So first one, Indian Defense Service. Indian Defense Service. The President of India, being the head of the state, occupies the highest position in our defense organization. He is the supreme commander of the armed forces in India. The President of India, he is the highest position in our defense organization, as well as he is the chief commander of the armed forces in India. Next one, security forces in India can be divided into three. One is Indian Armed Forces, second paramilitary forces, third Central Armed Police Forces. So these are the three different security forces in India. First, we are going to discuss about Indian Armed Forces. They are primarily forces consist of country's army, navy, air force and coast guard. So these are the four important primary forces in India. They serve under the Ministry of Defense. These four important Indian armed forces served under the Ministry of Defense. Second, paramilitary forces. Second one, paramilitary forces. They are Assam Rifles and Special Frontier Forces. So these are the different two types of forces. One is the Assam Rifles, second Special Frontier Forces. Third, Central Armed Police Forces. Central Armed Police Forces, CAPF. They are BSF, CRPF, ITBP, CISF and SSB. These are the very important Central Armed Police Forces in India. These are the five important Central Armed Police Forces in India. They serve under the authority of Ministry of Home Affairs. So that was a head. Ministry of Home Affairs is head to the Central Armed Police Forces. Next, this CAPF work along with both army and police in different roles assigned to them. So it is mingled or joined with, so that CAPF that is joined with army and police in different roles assigned to them in the very good manner. Okay. Next, students, next is Indian Armed Forces. Next is Indian Armed Forces. So first one, Army. First one is Army. The Indian Army is the land-based branch and it the largest voluntary army in the world. It is the largest voluntary army in the world. It is commanded by Chief of Army Staff. It is commanded by Chief of Army Staff. So he is called COAS, COAS, who is a 4-star general. It is a status of the head, 4-star general. The primary mission of the Indian Army is to ensure national security. So this is a important duty of the army. What is that? Ensure national security. Second one, national unity. Third, defending the nation from external aggression. Fourth, internal threats. Fifth one, maintaining peace and security within its border. So these are the very important duty of the army. It conducts humanitarian rescue operations during natural disaster and calamities. The Indian Army has a regimental system. So this is one of the different types of system, that is regimental system. It has operationally and geographically divided into 7 commands. That is it is operationally and geographically divided into 7 commands. Okay, next one, Navy. The primary objective of the Navy is to safeguard the nation's maritime borders. It is very important duty of the Navy. Safeguard the nation's maritime border. And in conjunction with other armed forces of the Union. Conjunction means join. It's work join with other armed forces of the Union. Act to deter or defeat any threats or aggression against the territory, people of or maritime interest of India. The Chief of Naval Staff of 4-star Admiral, that is the status of the head person. The Chief of Naval Staff, a 4-star Admiral, commands the Navy. It has 3 naval commands. It has 3 naval commands. Okay. Next, Air Force. Next one, Air Force. The Indian Air Force is the air arm of the Indian Armed Force. It is the air arm of the Indian Armed Force. Its primary mission is to secure Indian airships. It secure Indian airspace and to conduct aerial warfare during armed conflict. The Chief of the Air Staff and Air Chief Marshal. He was a head of the Air Force. Air Chief Marshal is a 4-star officer and is responsible. He is a responsible person for the bulk of operational command of the Air Force. He is the very responsible person of the Air Force. It has 7 commands. It has 7 commands. That is 7 separate groups in his Air Force. Okay. Next, Indian Coast Guard, ICG, Indian Coast Guard. The Indian Coast Guard was established in 1978 by the Coast Guard Act 1978 of the Parliament of India as an independent armed force of India. The Indian Coast Guard was established in 1978 by Parliament of India as an independent armed force of India. It operates under the Ministry of Defence. It was controlled by Ministry of Defence. The Coast Guard works in close cooperation with the Indian Navy, the Department of Fisheries, the Department of Revenue, that means Customs, and the Central and State Police Force. So the Indian Coast Guard cooperate and close with this department, that means Indian Navy, Department of Fisheries, Department of Revenue, that means Customs, and Central and State Police Force. Okay. So these are the very important armed forces in India. Okay. So these 4 are the very important armed forces in India. Okay. Next we are going to discuss about paramilitary defense forces. Okay. Paramilitary defense forces. The forces which help in maintaining internal security, protecting the coastline, and assisting the army are known as paramilitary forces. So these are the important duty of the paramilitary. What is that? Maintaining internal security. Second, protecting the coastline and assisting the army. So these are the important duty of paramilitary forces. The responsibility is the security of important places like railway station, oil fields and refineries, water reservoirs lines. So that is a very responsible duty of the paramilitary forces. That means railway station, security of important places like railway stations, oil fields, refineries and water reservoirs line. So they also participate in the management of natural or man-made disasters. During peacetime, the paramilitary forces also have the responsibility of protecting the international borders. So its work within the border and across the border of India. For an example, first one is the Assam Rifles AR, second one the Special Frontier Forces SFF. So these are the very good example for the paramilitary defense forces. Okay, first one, the Assam Rifles AR. The Assam Rifles came into being in 1835, which was established by the British in the Assam region. So the Assam Rifles was established in 1835 by British in the Assam region as a militia called the Chachar Levy. It was called Chachar Levy. They are currently 46 battalion of Assam Rifles. Now they are currently 46 battalions of Assam Rifles. It is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. It is under the Ministry of Home Affairs. That means MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs. Second, the Special Frontier Force, SFF, the Special Frontier Force. The Special Frontier Force, SFF, is a paramilitary special force of the India created in 1962. Okay, it was created in 1962. The Special Frontier Force that was created in 1962. Assam Rifles was created or established in 1835. The Special Frontier Force that was created in 1962. This force was put under the direct supervision of the Vigilance Bureau. That was direct supervision of the Vigilance Bureau, and later under the Research and Analysis Wing, India's external intelligence agency. It was controlled by India's intelligence agency. So these are the two important things. That means the Assam Rifles AR and Special Frontier Forces SFF. So these are the important two concepts, or a very good example for the paramilitary forces. Okay. Next topic is the Central Armed Police Forces. Next topic is the Central Armed Police Forces, CAPF. Following 5 forces which come under Ministry of Home Affairs were earlier considered paramilitary forces, but from March 2011 they have been reclassified as Central Armed Police Force to avoid confusions. In first, it was called paramilitary forces. After that, that means March 2011, they have been reclassified as Central Armed Police Forces, CAPF, to avoid confusions. There are 5 different types of Central Armed Police Forces, CAPF. One is the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF. Second, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, ITBP. Third, the Border Security Force, BSF. Fourth, Central Industrial Security Force, CISF. Fifth one, Special Service Bureau, SSB. So these are the different types of 5 different types of the Central Armed Police Forces. So now we are going to discuss about first one, the Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF. Okay, first one, the mission of Central Reserve Police Force shall be to enable the government to maintain rule of law, public order and internal security effectively and efficiently, to preserve national integrity and promote social harmony and development by upholding supremacy of Constitution. So these are the very important duty of Central Reserve Police Force, CRPF. Next up, the Rapid Action Force is a specialized wing of the CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force, to deal with riot, crowd control, rescue and relief operations and related unrest situations. So these are also the another very important duty of the CRPF. Okay. Next, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, ITBP. It is a border guarding police force. Border guarding police force. This force is specialized in high altitude operation. It is developed for border guarding duties from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh. So this is a area of this police force, that is from Ladakh to Arunachal Pradesh, India and China border. Next, last one is the Border Security Force, BSF. The Border Security Force is a border guarding force of India. It is very important one. BSF is charged with guarding India's land border during peacetime and preventing transnational crimes. The Border Security Force work is very important to the India because they are worked um, sincerely and perfectly. That's why we are living in safe and peacefully. So their duties are very important in India. Okay, students. Today's topic is over. Remaining topics we will discuss in next class. Okay. Thank you.